Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to give an update on how it's going in my Hobonichi Cousin. Now, this is the first time I am using the full year cousin. I did play around with the Avec a few years ago. I just wanted to see what the hype was. What is the Hobonichi planner? Like, why is it so crazy? Why is everyone loving it on Instagram? Do I need to get it? So I did, and I got the Avec because I wasn't sure I was ready to spend, I don't know, like I think it's like $65 now. I wasn't ready to spend that, and the Avec was, I believe, around $35. So I was like, okay, that one I could do, and it's only a half year commitment. Now, when I got it, I love the paper. I was like, okay, this paper is special. That TRP paper, it's like a very smooth, silky, buttery feel. I would describe it as a little bit thicker than Bible paper. That's how I would verbally describe it through you, through the camera, without you actually touching how that feels. And while I love the paper at the time, I think the journaling sections of the bag, it's a dated daily page, was overwhelming for me. I was new to planning. I was looking for a planner. I wasn't very into journaling at the time, so it was just frankly too much, and I was leaving tons and tons of pages blank and just using the paper to practice hand lettering. So it just didn't make sense for me to invest, $65, $68 into a full year when I wasn't really using it effectively. Now, it's been a few years. I know what I want in a planner. I feel more confident about that. And I've just started journaling more. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and it's not just about me and it's about my kids and my parents. And I just have more to write about. There's more things just running through my head that I want to put down on paper to just calm my mind. So I've progressed in journaling, and I thought, I think this is the year to go back to the cousin and see if it will do anything for me. So it is a personal goal of mine to chunk this baby up. I'm not a super like sticker kit person. I do a few stickers on every page, but most of my stuff is writing. The weekly section, I do use a little bit unconventionally compared to maybe a lot of people that you see out there and how they use it. And again, the data dailies. If you're new to journaling, I think while you might want to really use a cousin, it can be intimidating. It is a whole page, and you might feel like, I don't have enough to write about in there. And if you're like me, you're going to say, I don't want a ton of empty pages. Then, it doesn't make any sense. And if you still want to try it, I do have some tips for you. I knew what my limitations and struggles might be, despite really personally wanting to fill this out. So I kind of thought ahead what I was going to do to continue to fill this out and keep this up. So keep watching. And if you also use the cousin in an unconventional way, please let me know in the comments how you do that. Okay, first of all, I did decide to get a clear cover for this planner. I said in the beginning I wanted this planner to be super lived in, and I didn't care if it got a little dirty and all that. But once it started getting dirty, I started cringing a little bit. So I started looking for a clear cover. The one I usually get is the Jet Pen's Midori cover, and it is available on Amazon as well. But the only one available on Amazon was the one that fits the Avec. The one that fits the cousin is, I believe, the Midori Codex version because, it's obviously thicker, so it's going to be a little different. Now, some people online have said that the one that fits the Avec can also fit their cousin. I didn't know if that was true, so I did take this off and try to put it on here, and it just wasn't fitting. Like the whole time, it was just like this, like barely closing. I heard you could blow dry it and heat it up, but it was just not working for me. So I decided, because it was sold out on Jet Pens, I actually went with a small business. So this brand is called Laura Phelps Designs. If you guys want to check her out, it is a little bit different in that I believe the Midori one just has like an open flap, and this one has like 3 pockets, her version. So I decided to get hers. So far, I am really liking it. It's pretty good quality. It fit very easily. Like I didn't have to maneuver anything, and it just fell flat instantly. So I do like that. Okay, let's go through each one, what I did and didn't do. Again, I did say I was going to use this for like a period tracker, for you ladies. I thought it would be really easy for me to do that. Okay, this section. I thought I was going to use this for a daily kind of Korean learning tool with my kids, but I just haven't been able to get to it. So it's been a whole month. It's blank. Honestly, I'm okay with it. This is one of those things where I don't care if it's empty. February, I will see if I'm going to do anything different, but I will have to report. Unfortunately, I just didn't get to it this month. Moving on to the monthly section. Now, the Hobonichi Cousin for the January start, they do have a December monthly section in it, if you guys didn't know. So I did decorate this, I believe, late in November-ish, and I started filling this out in December. This is really the only thing I think you can really do in the Hobonichi Cousin a little bit earlier. Now, if any of you guys did not end up getting the January Hobonichi Cousin, don't worry, because Hobonichi Cousin does have a spring start as well. So if you feel inspired by all these people doing Hobonichi Cousin like flip throughs and you still want to do it without feeling like you have to backdate a whole bunch of stuff, there is a spring start version, so you can look into that. What I did for December is, decorate it a little bit, make it Christmassy, and then I like to write just a happy thing that happened each day. And then I also did the same for January. This week I went on vacation, so I just kind of left it blank, but I do kind of write, sometimes a little bit more here, a little bit less here. Now for the weekly section, let me flip through here. It starts in the first week of January, and as you can see, I don't use this section as a functional planner the way you see most people use this section. It is a vertically laid out planner, and I'll zoom in here to show you it does have the time on the left if you wanted to write down your schedule in a very specific time slotted way. But me, I actually use my Hemlock and Oak planner functionally. So I do time blocking here, and I just didn't want to have to duplicate that in the Cousin for no reason. And I frankly don't like to time block on TRP paper. Now, I told you I still really wanted to try this planner. So this is my unconventional way of using my weekly that works for me. I have, over the years picked up quotes and lyrics and just people saying random things that have really hit me. And I've jotted them down in random places, but I just can't even find them anymore. So I decided to use my weekly section to compile all those things. So basically I'm going to put, quotes I've heard, song lyrics, and just kind of reflect upon it, which is a little bit different from my journaling section in the back. Now, for the first one, I'll show you guys here. My first quote of the year was actually very interesting. I just happened to hear it on TikTok and I found it really touching. So it says, "I've seen people get exactly what they've always wanted, but don't accept it because it doesn't come in the package that they expected." And this is by Patrick Henderson. I believe he commented on a video that I saw. Now, the video was basically a father and a daughter-in-law. And his own daughter, so their lesbian couple, brought home a very masculine wife. And I think what the video was trying to say is he must have expected her to, have a different lifestyle, bring home a husband, but instead she is married to a woman who is very masculine and does very masculine, boyish things with the father, which is like mow the lawn, build things in the backyard, things that he's probably always wanted to do with a son or son-in-law. But the son, quote, son-in-law came in a different package for him. And he is finding that he's still really happy for her. He's still really happy with the relationship he has with his daughter-in-law. And this was one of the first comments under that, people basically, kind of get what they want. It's just not in the exact form that they expected. And if they can't accept that, they won't be happy because it didn't come exactly in the way that they had always imagined. And I think this applies to a lot of things. I feel like there's a lot of things I got, maybe not exactly in the way I had imagined, but if I can't open my eyes to knowing that this might be a little bit different, but in the end, it's what I've always wanted. And I think that's a really big, limitation for some people if you can't get over that. Now, the second quote here, this is actually my all-time favorite quote that I've been carrying in my heart for years, and it's, "I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've already left them." And this is from the last episode of The Office, and Andy Bernard says this. And I always think about this because today will never come again. And sometimes I feel like I'm drowning in motherhood, being a corporate worker, trying to be a good daughter and a wife. and I feel like I'm rushing through everything. Let's get bedtime done. Let's get, work done. Let's get dinner done. But in the future, I don't know what's going to happen. And today really is the good old days. And I'm constantly trying to remind myself not to rush to get to somewhere. I don't even know where that somewhere is. Maybe it's just the end of the day so I can watch TV. But just know these are the good old days. I know someday I'm going to be like, I remember when the kids were only this small and they said the darnest things. And I just want to constantly remind myself that today is the good old days, and I don't want to look back without kind of consciously kind of absorbing all that. So that is my all-time favorite quote. I think about that all the time. I'll do a flip through of the rest of this. I do have a lot of Taylor Swift lyrics. This is You're Losing Me, one of my favorite bridges of her song. And of course, you can see that I write it in a little bit darker font, the quote or the lyric, and then I kind of write my own thoughts and reflections on it, a little bit lighter ink. I believe this one is the Pigma Micron in 0.3, and then this is my Uniball Signo in 0.38. So you can see, like, there's here. Let me if you care. It's a little bit different. Now, I don't know if you can see that. You can see the writing from the back page. There's a lot of talk about bleed through and all that, and I just don't really care. I don't use fountain pens, so it's not as heavy for me, and I simply just don't care. But that's what you can expect when you use pens like this. All right, my next page. This one, I guess I didn't end up filling out, which is fine. This one is, live in such a way that if someone should speak badly of you, no one would believe it, by Zig Ziglar. And I thought this was so appropriate for this week because it was kind of just a little bit after Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds-ish. I can't remember the order of events at this point, but is, I think suing Justin Baldoni, and there's just a lot of back and forth. And by the time I'm posting this, it's the beginning of February. There's a lot of things stacked against Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds at this point. And I'm not going to say I know the truth because I don't. I do feel that Blake Lively may have lived in such a way in the past, which is separate from what she's accusing Justin Baldoni of. I mean, they're not related, right? But she has lived in such a way that everyone keeps doubting her because she has been seen on camera and other people have been eyewitness to her being very rude to people. So I think I want to kind of instill, if I ever said something, I don't want to live in such a way where they just don't believe me or they doubt me when I'm saying something really serious because I was a terrible person. So I don't know. I just thought that was really appropriate for this week. This one is actually from The Frozen River by Ariel Lawin. It's a really good book. I thought it was a pretty good page turner. And she's a midwife, and something she says in there is, a woman is never more vulnerable than while in labor, nor is she ever stronger. And that is just so true. I've been in labor twice, guys, and you're in such a vulnerable position, right? Giving birth, and all these people are in there, and you just don't give a F. You just want that baby out. You are in the most compromised position you can be physically, but I'm going to do everything I can to make sure this baby comes out of me like healthy and safely. So it's a very specific experience for women, but I thought that was really true. Okay, this week is dedicated to Taylor Swift. It's my lover themed one. Then one magical night, I forgot that you existed. And I thought it would kill me, but it didn't. And it was so nice, so peaceful and quiet. I forgot that you existed. It isn't love. It isn't hate. It's just indifference. I forgot that you existed. Sent me a clear message. Taught me some hard lessons. I just forgot what they were. It's all just a blur. And the song is called I Forgot That You Existed by Taylor Swift. And I think after a breakup, it just suddenly goes away and you just forget. While it's so deep and cutting while you're going through it, one day you're okay. And I just love it. I mean, this is a really fun song, but when you really look at the lyrics, I thought, I don't know, it's just a positive way to get someone, I think, out and know that instead of saying something so cliche like time heals all wounds, I think the fact that you'll just forget one day is just encouraging. That's just me. Okay, next one. Saying goodbye is a death by 1,000 cuts. Flashbacks waking me up. I get drunk, but it's not enough. 'Cause the morning comes and you're not my baby. I look through the windows of this love, even though we boarded them up. Chandeliers still flickering here, 'cause I can't pretend it's okay when it's not. It's Death by a Thousand Cuts by Taylor Swift. Ah, love this song. Again, super poppy, super fun. If you're, hanging out at a bar or dancing at a club, you would never know it's such a cutting song, but it really is. I love that one. Okay, last one. Everyone knows this song. It's The Man by Taylor Swift. I would be complex. I would be cool. They'd say I played the field before I found someone to commit to. And that would be okay for me to do. Every conquest I made would make me more of a boss to you. I'd be fearless leader. I'd be an alpha type. When everyone believes you, what's that like? Oh, I just love this song. It's a song I'm going to be playing my daughter her whole life because there's just so many instances where it's not fair. One thing I want to even say, even in that whole, I'm going to go back, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, I really don't know who's the evil person here, but let's just say both of them are evil and they were both being, malicious in their intent. I've heard a lot of people feel like Blake Lively is not going to get out of this and Ryan Reynolds is going to be fine. I don't know if that's fair. It's just not fair, but it's the man. All right, let's keep moving. So this one was during my vacation week. So I was reading this book called James by Percival Everett. And it is about slavery. And one thing he says in there is he's going to get drunk now. Not so much because he can, but because we can't. And while this book is about slavery and, the oppressor versus the oppressed, I also thought this quote was very interesting psychologically to what a lot of people do. They do it to be hurtful, whatever it is, because they know they can do it, but you can't. They want to show you that. And that's basically what I've been doing. And this is my last week of January here. And you guys can see what I tend to like to do as far as decor. It's pretty minimal, but I do like to use my washi tapes. I mean, I have so much washi tape. Like, when am I ever going to use it? I can't keep hoarding them. I'm not going to buy any more. As some of you guys know, I'm trying not to buy any more decorative stuff this year. If I get it as a gift or I win a giveaway, so be it. But I'm not going to buy any more. So I do very simple washi tape on the top and bottom for the most part. Keep it consistent. I do some stickering here and there. But that's kind of what I do. I keep it very minimal. I don't want to put too much decorative thought into here because I want the lyrics and my thoughts on it to be kind of the main focus of this. Okay, to the nitty gritty, the dated daily journaling pages. When I set this up, I hated it, guys, but it's fine now. I wrote, all the noise in my brain, I clamp it. Oh, wait, did I miss a word? I clamp it. I should probably say I clamp it to the page so it will be still. Terrible. I hate it even more, but it's fine. It's by Barbara Kingsolver, and I wrote that because it's true. I have so many random thoughts and ideas and things that's just running through my brain, and I wanted to write it down, and that's what I want to do for January. So I'm going to go through the pages here and just give you a few tips. If you feel intimidated by dated daily journaling pages, this is what I would do to fill it out and also not get behind so you don't have empty pages. I will warn you, I do not have a single empty page in here. For me, I don't use, let me zoom in. I see a lot of people using kind of this section functionally because they do have that timestamp right there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I completely ignore it and I just write a lot. So most of my pages will be writing. I don't do a lot of decor. I do maybe a few stickers at tops. So New Year, one sticker, wrote about, I pretty much wrote Dear Christina. It's a letter to myself. And here, if you can see it, my 2 words for the year is soft and slow or slow and soft, because I feel like sometimes I don't know, I hate that I snap at my kids sometimes. Like, life gets so crazy and I don't want to be remembered as that mom. I want to be remembered as like a warm and loving mom that they can always go to. So I really want to work on my tone and my language with the kids because I don't want to be a rushed person who's like, let's go, let's be strict. I don't want to do that. And I feel like I have enough bandwidth and peace within myself this year to really work on being a softer and slower person. So you can see minimal. I do some, I don't know how to hand letter, guys. I'm trying. You can see some pages later that I try, but I really can't. I can write neatly. So I use my markers to write like a key highlight word. I put some stickers that are relevant to the topic. Work from home life, home sweet home. And I tried some cursive here. I hadn't written cursive in so long. And I went to Global Entry, did Monopoly with the kids on Sunday. And I hate playing Monopoly because someone is always crying that it's not fair. And in the moment, I'm always trying to calculate, do I let them learn the hard lesson that life isn't fair and there are times where you're going to be a winner and that you're also going to be a loser? And if you're ever a winner, you need to be gracious about it. And if you're a loser, you can't be a sore loser. So I'm always like debating if I need to teach them that lesson or if I should just let them win so I don't hear it. So I hate Monopoly. I hate playing that game. Catan, actually, I don't dislike as much. It's just as strategic and in like kind of thinking game that I love playing with my kids. Out of the box thinking, and it's not as controversial as Monopoly. So I do like Catan a little bit more. Very windy day. As you guys know, SoCal had a ton of wind and a lot of fire. So this is kind of like the beginnings of that. School was closed because how windy it is. There was power outages around my area. Sometimes when I don't have anything to write about, I actually write journaling prompts. This one specifically I got from Coffee Monster. What is the one thing that happened recently that you'd like to remember in 10 years? I love her quotes or prompts because they're very unique. They're not like, what are you going to do with your life in 5 years? Or what do you regret the most? It's a lot more unique than that. So I do like that one. Hectic day. Some keywords that I wanted to write about. Oh, this is my attempt at hand lettering. If you guys can see that, my embarrassing attempt. Another embarrassing attempt. So I just do very simple stickers, keywords in big markers. And I just like to write. I just try to write as much as I can or as much as I want. And this day, obviously, almost empty, almost. And then this one was actually when we went to Kauai. And I just wrote about what we did every day, some thoughts, just places to remember. And Hawaiian words are harder for me to remember. Actually, any foreign words, even when we go visit that place, if I am not specifically planning the trip, it's really hard for me to remember the name because they're different, pronunciation or words like combination of letters I've never heard. So writing this down has actually really helped me remember where we went and what we did because my husband planned this trip. I haven't gotten Sunday scaries in a really long time, but I did because we just came back from vacation. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. And some boxes. And this is my last day of January where I started feeling super hyper focused on skincare. Finally, back to my advice on how to journal daily and fill up the page. My first advice would be if you're a sticker person, use your big old stickers. If you don't want to write a lot that day, use your big old stickers and fill it up. And I don't really touch this bottom section. Like I consider it like a no zone. Like I never go there. I don't even put stickers there really. I just pretend it's like not there. And in that way, I actually think maybe the Hobonichi Cousin A5 is maybe even smaller because it's taking away this space. So you really only use this much space. Or use your fat washi tape. And if you have, like, let me give an example. Like if you only have like these thin ones, get a thick one and layer it on top of each other and make it even thicker. It's decorative enough. It's simple. It's clean. And if you feel like you don't have that much to write, it takes up a lot of space. Another thing, number 2, write big keywords. Write it neat. You don't have to have the prettiest writing or you don't even have to hand letter, but if you can write it really neat. And Hobonichi Cousin is gridded, guys. So as long as you are keeping your letters even and neat and not rushing through it, I think your writing will come out really pretty. So another way, again, stickers, big letters. That would be another way to fill up the page. Again, big letters, big stickers, right? That's kind of something you can do. Another thing is create big boxes around it. If you don't have stickers or washi tape, if you have markers, you can definitely do that. If you don't want to have to backdate, what I would do is recommend taking it with you where you go. I am not typically someone who takes my planners out with me, but because I was going on vacation for almost a week, I didn't want to come back and have to back journal like 7 pages. That would be dreadful for me. I would probably not remember what to write, and it just wouldn't be a fun journaling experience. So for me, I decided to take it with me. And I like to keep my journaling supplies super minimal when I go, because I'm just going to, die a little bit inside if I lose any of my precious planner stuff. So what I did was, actually, these pages were blank before I went. I put down stickers of the vibe of the vacation. I'm going to Kauai. It's like tropically. And I know we're going to eat a ton of poke because my husband loves sushi and poke. So I put those down. I put these stickers down preemptively before I went. And I actually only took, I took this one for my big fatter letters. I took my Energel planner. So I took these two only and this planner, nothing else. Another thing I would do while you're home is try to create a routine for yourself. I like to journal in the beginning of my day because it's the quietest. It's the start of my work day. My husband went to work, my kids went to school. I can just kind of, be quiet by myself and think about what I wanted to say. And it really only takes me like 15-20 minutes to write it all down. As the day progresses, things get crazier for me. So I am less likely to journal thoughtfully as the day comes to an end. And another thing that you can really do is, if you don't mind writing in like a non-desk situation, try putting it next to your bed or your nightstand, because that's when you're kind of closing out for the day. Maybe things are quieter. You can really reflect what happened, because when you journal at the end of the day, you can really think about what happened the whole day. Whereas for me, when I journal in the morning, I think about a little bit what happened the day before and my thoughts and intentions for the day. So it's like the way you journal might be a little bit different. Lastly, my tip would be, while I'm not okay with a blank page, I am okay with some space. So if you don't have a lot to say that day again, try to write in the middle. Put a good amount of margin around your writing, because that also eats up space. You can also list things out and indent, which creates more space as well. But in my opinion, this still looks pretty filled out. So that's kind of my advice to you. It's helped me very much. And when I go on another trip, I will be pre-decorating and only taking like my essential pens, and that's it. So I hope that has helped you guys out on how to tackle the daily pages. It's really not that serious, guys. Like, once you get over the planner perfection of starting in the Hobonichi Cousin, it's a lot easier. It feels a lot less stressful. And there are ways to tackle the daily sections. You can do a lot of different things in it. Don't feel, intimidated by it. Well, yeah, don't be intimidated. I say that. It's just paper and pen. And really, I promise you, once you start writing in it, the planner perfection of it does go away a little bit, and you can make it exactly the way you want. And again, I don't use sticker kits, as you can see. I'm just not a super fan of that, because I like consistency. And if I start using a sticker kit, I'm going to always want to use a sticker kit, and I don't want to spend that kind of money right now. I actually just want to use everything I already have. So I use a hodgepodge of stuff. I just generally color coordinate and kind of put themes of what I did that day together. So I hope that helped you guys. And if you don't use it this way, and if you use any of your sections a little bit unconventionally like I do, please share in the comments. I could always pivot. I could try a different way to do my weekly section as well. I'd love some ideas. So if you have anything that you'd like to share, please say so in the comments. All right, thank you for watching, guys.